Thank you so much for joining us. Today is another step in the journey of honoring one of our state's, our country's finest, the life of General Maurice Rose. Truly one for the ages. It's really important to raise awareness within Colorado and across the country to visitors here at our state capitol about the great legacy, dedication, and service of General Maurice Rose. I want to thank the folks here today who worked tirelessly to make this day happen. We're joined by Marshall Fogel, General Rose's biographer. Where'd Marshall go? We're joined by Paul Shaman, who along with Fogel brought this idea to the state legislature. Thank you, Paul. One of Colorado's best, most talented artists and sculptors, George Lundeen from Loveland, is here. He's putting his talents towards the statue, and we have a small replica of what will be an 18-foot, including the base structure. And of course, we're joined by several legislators, Representative Woodrow. Of course, the Speaker will be coming up in just a moment, and he really is largely responsible for us achieving this day and getting this done. You know, we know that our country has a complicated past regarding the statues we build and what they represent. This is a great honor to celebrate someone who earned their reputation in service to our country, making great sacrifices. General Rose's father was a Polish rabbi. He arrived in the United States with his family in the late 1800s. Maurice was only 3 years old when he got here, and the family landed in Denver. 14 years later, at 17, Rose enlisted in the United States Army, where he went on to serve in 2 world wars, World War I and World War II. He became the highest ranking and most distinguished Jewish American soldier in U.S. history along the way. President Dwight Eisenhower wrote in a telegram to General Rose's wife that Rose was, quote, a leader who inspired his men to speedy accomplishment of tasks that to a lesser man would have appeared almost impossible. Sadly, in the final months of the war, General Rose lost his life in the line of duty. And here at home, in Colorado and across the nation, a grateful nation mourned and celebrated his contributions to protect our freedom. General Rose never made it home. He was buried at the Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial in Margraten. So it seems only fitting that we begin the quest to really give him a final resting place and celebration in his hometown that gave comfort to his parents and his family. We're proud to honor the memory of this towering figure in Colorado's proud history of military service by formally commemorating his life, his achievements, and his sacrifice through a monument which stands tall in Veterans Memorial Park. Colorado's home to over 400,000 men and women who've proudly worn the uniform of the United States of America and the different branches of service, tens of thousands of active duty military. And that's really what Veterans Memorial Park is all about, celebrating the contributions that people have made here in Colorado and across the country to protecting our freedoms. And first and foremost, we are proud because the values that General Rose represented, and through him and through educating people about his life and his legacy, we're proud to support all of our veterans across our state. I want to, without the effort of Speaker Alec Garnett, we wouldn't have this day. We wouldn't have the Veterans Memorial Park designation. I am just so pleased that Speaker Garnett has made a major point of his speakership to support Colorado's active duty, military members, and veterans, and of course, in this act today, to honor the life and contributions of General Maurice Rose. Speaker Alec Garnett.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Governor. Good morning. What a great day for us all to come together and honor a great Coloradan. There are so many people to thank, and the Governor did a great job of thanking so many who helped us get here today. I want to give a special shout out again to Marshall, who lives in House District 2, and so I represent him, and I really feel like I did my duty as your representative to get us here, but thank you for your service. And I really want to highlight Larry Mizell, who guided this effort to enshrine the memory of General Rose. Larry, thank you so much for your leadership, for your tireless advocacy. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you very much. You know, General Rose, grew up just miles from here. At sort of the turn of the century, he went to East High School, just a short drive from where we stand here today. He was Colorado's proudest war hero, and many people have asked through this journey, did I know about General Rose before I was in the legislature? And the answer was no. And I stack that up to the fact that General Rose was a humble leader. He was very humble as a man in all of his accomplishments. He wasn't he didn't brag about what he accomplished in both the world wars, and because of that, he was really looked up to and honored by all of the men who served under him. What's so great about today, and what's so great about the statue that George Lundeen has put together here, which is just spectacular, is that his achievements will be remembered from this point forward by most Coloradans. Think of all the fourth graders that are going to come to the Capitol, that are going to go through Lincoln Veterans Memorial Park, and that are going to learn about the amazing accomplishments of a humble leader in General Rose. This really is something that I think is going to help every generation of school-age kids who come and visit the Capitol. This is something that, as I've been thinking about the day and age that we find ourselves, the fact that nationwide people are fighting with each other about what statues to put up and what statues to put down, it's very important to highlight that the General Rose resolution passed the Colorado General Assembly unanimously in 2021. That shows what an amazing leader, what an amazing Coloradan, and what an amazing war hero General Rose was. It's an honor for me to stand here today. It's going to be an honor for me to take my kids and hopefully my grandkids to visit this spectacular statue and to talk about the accomplishments that General Rose had in both the war fronts. With that, I would like to turn it over to the man who really put his accomplishments into this amazing statue, and one of Colorado's great artists, George Lundeen.
Thank you. I have to raise the microphone up for that little guy. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Speaker. And thank you very much, all you folks, for coming out today. It's been a real pleasure working on this sculpture from the time that I first met with Paul and Marshall. I too was one of those people that when they said, "Have you heard of General Rose?" I said no. They said, "Have you heard of Rose Hospital?" I said, "Of course, everybody knows about Rose Hospital." And they said, "Well, that's the reason Rose Hospital is there, because of a fellow named Rose, General Rose." And once you start to look at his accomplishments, his life, you get pretty excited about what this kid did by joining the military. When he was only 16, his mother grabbed him and pulled him home. And finally, when he was 17, I believe his father had to sign the papers so he could join. And he took that first step, and I think made us all proud. And I'm a very proud Colorado boy now, after being here for 45 years, to help out with this project, and it should be a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
And next up, Marshall Vogel. Sorry, I actually skipped over you, but please come on up.
Good morning, Governor, Mr. Speaker, Larry Mizell, my dear friend. It's an honor to be the author of a 2-volume work on the life, the legend, and times of General Maurice Rose. For those of you who aren't familiar with Rose, let me explain. He is the most decorated battle tank commander in United States military history. He is the first to negotiate a surrender of a German army when the Allied forces landed in Africa. He liberated Palermo. He earned 3 Silver Stars within a year and a half after he moved over to Africa to fight Rommel. He also was the first to cross into Germany in World War II. How biblical is it for a Jewish war hero to be the first to invade Nazi Germany, capture the first major city in Germany, shoot down the first German airplane in Germany, first to cross the Blitzkrieg line, are just a few of the examples of what a courageous soldier he was because he led from the front. Governor, I'd like to present you with Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the life of General Rose on behalf of the 3rd Armored Division veterans, on behalf of the veterans who have served and are now serving in our great country. And I'd like to present to you these books on behalf of the people of the state of Colorado as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for signing the resolution. Speaker Gardette will now sign the resolution to make it official. Marshall, come on over here. Stand right behind you.
This is the only time I get to like come and sit and sign. Okay, it's official.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Casey and I actually, great story, went to high school together, so it is fun for us to stand here all in support of Maurice Rose and the efforts that had gone into this. So with no further ado, the president of Rose Hospital.
Good morning. What an amazing day. First, I want to echo the thanks to Larry Mizell, the governor, Alec Garnett, Marshall Fogel, and obviously Paul. These gentlemen have worked tirelessly to recognize a true war hero. Rose Hospital was named obviously after General Maurice Rose, and when we've reflected back, there's not a better person to really carry on this legacy. He served his people, he served his country, and similar to Rose Hospital, he served his community. And by memorializing General Rose in the lawn across the street, this is just another way to recognize a true war hero and a true Coloradan and carry on his name. We're unbelievably excited to be able to help fundraise for this event. And I really want to present a check to Paul Shamlin and encourage people throughout the community to help support this effort to make this possible, as we still have a few dollars to earn as well. So Paul, without further ado, we'd like to present you with a check for $10,000 to help fund this effort.
Thank you on behalf of everyone at rosemonument.org. There is not one single state-sanctioned statue or monument to a Jewish person in the state of Colorado. Over the past 2 years, we have been working to rectify this situation. The Colorado legislature's moved to pass this joint resolution authorizing the placement of a monument to Major General Maurice Rose in the park directly across the street is a realization of a goal of many within the community. In today's climate of increasing anti-Semitism, it is more critical than ever to set the record straight about Jews' loyalty to the countries in which they live. As far back as the Civil War, there have been questions about Jews' patriotism to the United States. Yet these questions all have been debunked by historians. This monument will visibly add to the historical record of Jewish patriotism by initiating the accurate documentation of a Colorado Jewish war hero's life, military accomplishments, and sacrifice. By creating a record and conversation about Maurice Rose's heroism through a world-class statue in a physical place of honor on the grounds of our state capitol, we will accurately be depicting a life story of which Jews and non-Jews across the fractured modern political spectrum can be proud. Again, thank you all for coming to this event, and we hope to see you all back here next year for the unveiling of the Maurice Rose Monument.